Verdon, you're missing the biggest and best showroom in Central Illinois. Check it out on Google 360 or come see them. They'll even pay for your gas down to Verdon. Hendricks Home Furnishings. See store for details.
92.7 WMAY.
Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 83. Low tonight about 61. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 82, low around 61. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 81, low around 60 degrees. Friday, there's a chance of showers with a high near 80. And Saturday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 82 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
We've got tons to get to this morning, including the latest in the Illinois State Police filing rules for the gun registry. That's coming up after 6:30 this morning. We'll talk with Todd Vandermite about that and break down some of those rules and what they mean for those who own semi-automatic firearms and certain types of attachments when it comes to filing affidavits. So stay tuned. We got that. Of course, if you follow me on Twitter or X, you saw the news break yesterday morning with the release of those rules, and we'll talk about JCAR in that process as well, the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules. So that's all coming up a little bit later on this hour. But we got to start this morning with the end of cash bail. Monday started the end of cash bail in Illinois, statewide being the first states to do so, and a lot of reaction from all over, including from up in Chicago and here in Springfield, and even reaction to those who have concerns of the end of cash bail. So ultimately what this does is it says that money bond is no more in Illinois. Certain types of offenses can be held without bond, and then you've got lower level crimes that people can be processed through the jails and then released pending trial. And if they don't show up to their trial date, then there could be some warrants issued. But you've got this overall question of safety and different perspectives as to whether or not the end of cash bail is actually going to make the state safer, or if it's going to lead to the possibility of more crimes. So let's go ahead and hear now from the proponents on this. Yesterday at the Illinois State House, you had Democrats with the Network for Pretrial Fairness making their case for no cash bail ending yesterday. Here's State Representative Carol Ammons breaking down why she thinks this is so important and groundbreaking for the criminal justice system.
I am so honored to stand here today. This is a long time coming. I began working on pretrial fairness in 2017 with an organization called 3 Days Count out of Washington, D.C. It's a national organization that has been making this argument for many generations, actually, and we're kind of behind the times in implementation of a fair justice system that matches our Constitution federally and our state constitution. And so for my community members who are here, who've been working on this issue for a very long time, I am honored to stand with you today, representing the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus and the Illinois General Assembly. I am thankful to our members, those who voted for and against this legislation, those who were not sure that this is the right thing to do. 60+ organizations worked on this for multiple years because we knew it was the right thing to do, and it aligned with the constitutional protections that every citizen is supposed to be guaranteed. But that is not always the case, and that is not always how it works out. And so I am honored that our governor, back in 2020, actually, he made ending money bond one of his administration's top 3 priorities. The bail coalition that came together, the Coalition to End Money Bond and the Illinois Network for Pretrial Justice, we thank you for your continuous fight over many years. And I want the public to understand that when we began to try to make legislative change, sometimes it takes many years to get to this point. It has stood all of the inspection. And we hope that people will take this and utilize it in the most positive of ways and not use backdoor methods to prevent people from getting justice in our courts. Every member of the State's Attorneys Association has a responsibility to call on its members to cease all attempts at the continued deliberate obstruction of this law once it's implemented as of today. The General Assembly will not walk away from this process. It has taken many years for us to simply follow the Constitution. And what the Constitution tells us is that cash was always supposed to be the last option. It was never supposed to be the first option, and it was never supposed to be building budgets for county jails and courts.
So again, that's Urbana Democratic State Representative Carol Ammons laying out why she thinks this is a monumentous day for the criminal justice system in Illinois. But Republicans responding. State Senator Terry Bryant sounding off on this, essentially saying that this is not good for victims.
The final implementation of the Safety Act and the abolishment of cash bail. Today, Illinois begins its ill-advised experiment, and it becomes the first state in the nation to completely eliminate cash bail in exchange for a system that promises to be more fair. But fair for who? Because it's certainly not fair for our county court systems, many that will now not even be able to fund keeping criminals behind bars. And it's definitely not fair for the residents who could be forced to pay higher taxes for the same exact systems, but it'll be a less safe system. But most importantly, it's absolutely not fair for the victims of crime. From restitution payment to victim services, bonds and fees often contribute to vital services to help victims recover from their trauma. For example, over a third of convicted sex offenders' fees go to the Child Advocacy Center Fund, the Violent Crime Victims Assistance Fund, the Sexual Assault Services Fund, and the Domestic Violence Shelter Fund. Additionally, $2.5 million in Illinois bond money was applied to victim restitution in 2021. The Safety Act takes away this funding without a clear way for many counties to replace it. Does that sound fair for the victim? These are just a few examples of many funding and logistical gaps the legislature has yet to fill in. Despite repeated Republican calls to address these many injustices, the Democratic majority refuses to address these serious safety and financial concerns. The Senate Republicans will continue to call for reform and help support our local courts. Today, the governor and his allies will be taking a victory lap on their first in the nation criminal justice system overhaul. But to me, and many of the people we represent, defunding our courts, limiting victim services, and making law-abiding citizens pay for criminals' bail with their taxes is just not justice. Now, tell me, does that sound?
So, again, that's Terry Bryant. She's a Republican from Murfreesboro, a state senator, sounding off on how she feels this is a problematic law that went into effect yesterday. The ACLU of Illinois' Ben Riddell, he was with Carol Ammons yesterday and responded directly to that assertion about the cash bond no longer being available, and that's hurting restitution for victims. Here's Ben Riddell laying out his response to Murfreesboro Republican State Senator Terry Bryant.
Well, so restitution is there is some portion of restitution that gets paid like other fines and fees associated with court cases that is often taken out of people's money bond. And so you had asked earlier about, do people get their money back after if they're found innocent or at the end of the case? The fact is, people don't get most of their money back because it ends up going to a lot of fines and fees. But an analysis of how that pie is sliced shows that it's quite a small percentage of that goes to pay restitution. I will say that nothing about the Pretrial Fairness Act takes away the responsibility of a person who's found guilty of a crime to pay restitution that's been ordered by the court. We don't take it out of their pocket on the front end, though, when they've been just accused of the crime. We wait till they've been proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, which is how it ought to work.
So that's just some of the back and forth. What are the next steps here? Obviously, there's going to be monitoring of what the court system does with all of this and what prosecutors do with all of this. But what about the idea of changing it, amending it, repealing it even? We'll hear about that coming up next year with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. I'm Greg Bishop. Follow me anywhere. Just search Bishop on Air. Right now, though, 6:20 from Culver's West on Wabash. Want to remind you, the Land of Lincoln Honor Flights. Final flight of 2023 scheduled today. All right, it's going from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, and it's going to return at about 9:30 tonight. So if you want to welcome back those veterans heading over to Washington, D.C. to see war memorials in their honor, 9:30 tonight is when you'll be able to head out to the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport and welcome them in. More information at landoflincolnhonorflights.org. 621 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
Lauterbach Man here, proudly standing above my busy 7 bays on Wabash. The view from here is amazing. I've been looking at our wonderful city for decades upon decades. Many things have changed, but other things have not. We love Abe. We aren't shy about covering things in cheese, then adding toast, then cheese, then fries, then cheese, then, well, you know what I'm talking about. And the thing I'm most proud of, the thousands and thousands of cars that are driving safely thanks to our talented Lauterbach technicians. Cars going from the airport to the universities, from North Dirksen to South Veterans, crisscrossing from farmland to downtown, waving at tourists and trusted politicians. Abe. And if Abe were here today, he'd say, "Who's the tall guy?" And I'd say, "I'm Lauterbach Man, and I'm at your service." And if an imaginary Abe Lincoln driving a car can trust us, you can too. Lauterbach Tire on Wabash. Drive safely now.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Feeling boxed in by cable? Now's the time to break free from that overpriced TV bill and switch to Philo. With Philo, you'll get shows, movies, and more than 70 live channels, all for just $25 a month. You'll get the same networks you love like AMC, Discovery, Hallmark Channel, MTV, and more, all for a fraction of the cost of cable. And Philo's unlimited DVR lets you save all your favorite movies and shows for a year, so you can catch up on your own schedule. That's endless entertainment at your fingertips. Best of all, when you make the switch to Philo, you could be saving hundreds of dollars a year on your cable bill. Who doesn't want more money in their pocket? And with Philo's free trial, there's no risk to check it out for yourself. So think outside the box and stay inside your budget. Signing up for Philo takes seconds and will never make you listen to hours of cable company hold music. Before you know it, you'll be on the couch channeling comfort with all your favorite shows. Visit philo.tv/cutthecord to get started today. That's philo.tv/cutthecord.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
All right, back at it and hearing some of the back and forth about the end of money bond in Illinois. Yesterday was the day statewide money bond is no longer an option, not even for, the more serious charges against individuals. They can't bond out. And those supporting the idea say it's about making the criminal justice system more equitable, and saying that poor people shouldn't languish behind bars with the presumption of innocence until proven guilty just because they can't afford to bail themselves out. One of the state senators who helped construct this law is State Senator Robert Peters, a Democrat out of Chicago, and he was with a whole bunch of other Democrats, from Kim Foxx to Speaker Welch to Senate President Don Harmon and others, up in Chicago yesterday morning, celebrating the beginning of cash bail ending. And he said that, moving forward, there's always going to be things to tweak and to work on, but he talked about what he thinks are some of the next steps that are necessary.
I mean, I think you could say about the criminal justice system that there's 100 things that could be the next thing. I think it's to really monitor how this goes. I've always had deep concerns about whether, people are going too far when it comes to electronic monitoring. But overall, when I think about this, we're going to watch and pay attention to how this goes to make sure that it's implemented in every county throughout the state. I want to say that there have been people who've been speaking out throughout this state, who seem like they're hinting that they may not implement this fairly. And so what I care most about is that in every corner of this state, that we fundamentally focus on the safety and the fairness and the equality that everyone deserves in Illinois, and that this gets implemented in a fair and just manner. So to me, the most important next step is that whether you're in Madison County or Cook County, you have a fair and just system. And in fact, whether you're in the southern tip of Illinois or all the way up to the northern parts of Illinois, that in every zip code, you have the safety that you deserve. That's fundamentally what this is about. Public safety for all and not a few, and it should not matter what's in your wallet. What should matter is how you're able to go home and live your life and be able to be with your kids and not locked up simply because you're poor. So that, to me, is the key next step that we have here. Thank you.
But some would argue you're getting locked up not because you're poor, but because you're accused of a crime and you are behind bars because you couldn't meet the bond requirements. But regardless, that's an argument that was being made as of Sunday. But as of yesterday, no more cash bond in the state of Illinois. ACLU of Illinois' Ben Riddell, he talked about what he thinks are some of the hurdles that are expected moving forward with the end of cash bond.
Well, I think, there have been several stories in the media about public defenders and the kind of unreasonable caseloads that they have, and the fact that some of the smaller counties don't even have their own public defender. And so I think that that making sure that we build up our public defense that's an ongoing issue irrespective of the Pretrial Fairness Act. That's a thing that this state needs to tackle. But if you ask me where I see, the most potential for issues, it's there.
So again, Ben Riddell with the ACLU saying that he sees the hurdle being the public defenders and getting them in place to where they can defend those who can't get the representation that they need. Jack Campbell, sheriff of Sangamon County, when we talked with him on Friday, he said he anticipates there could be an increase in crime, and he wants to possibly take that information to the legislature for some changes.
I really think that whenever I think the legislature sees a rise in the crime rates in Illinois, that maybe they'll go back and maybe repeal it, maybe work on reform that needs to happen.
But Carol Ammons, Democrat from Urbana, she said that there is no going back. Here's some of what she said to the idea of those who might be looking to change or modify the Safety Act moving forward and the Pretrial Fairness Act moving forward.
And as we implement every single law in the state of Illinois, sometimes there's something wrong with it, or we need to go back and do X, Y, and Z. We will always listen to our stakeholders and try to make sure that we're implementing the law in the fairest of ways. But we will not repeal. We will not do backdoor practices in the next General Assembly to try to unravel this one. We will be ever vigilant and diligent in our work to oversee the implementation of this.
So, again, that's just some of the back and forth from yesterday and on Friday in anticipation of Monday's end of cash bail. We'll hear a lot more about this, including direct response to Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher and more response to Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell with their concerns as the advocates respond to those questions that were raised. So we'll get to that a little bit later on here with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Coming back, though, breaking news yesterday, outside of cash bail ending, you had Illinois State Police release the proposed rules for the gun registry. We'll get to all of that and talk with Todd Vandermeide, gun rights advocate, next here on WMAY. Now, 6:32, and let's check some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story: Wednesdays are bike tour days for everyone interested in learning more about Springfield's past. The 5-mile history tour starts at 10 a.m. at the Dana Thomas House and includes the Black Firehouse, Lincoln Home, Old State Capitol, Lincoln Tomb, and other sites. The 8-mile tour begins at the Lincoln Tomb at 1 o'clock. Helmets are required. Information about other hike and bike history tours can be found at WMAY.com. The Pretrial Fairness Act took effect Monday, making Illinois the first state in the nation to eliminate cash bail. Before ordering pretrial detention, judges will need to find that either the defendant poses a flight risk or is credibly accused of committing a so-called forcible felony. Detainable offenses include murder, assault, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, animal torture, and DUI causing great bodily harm. It's been 2 years since passage of the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, with the goal of putting Illinois on a path of 100% carbon-free energy by 2050. The Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition has launched the Illinois Solar Map, which allows anyone to explore solar projects by geography or by project category. A link to the map, along with more information about clean energy in Illinois, can be found at WMAY.com. Autumn means deer are at their most active, and the fall season is the most likely for collisions between cars and the large animals. State Farm Insurance warns motorists that more than 55,000 Illinois drivers collide with animals every year, ranking the state number 11 in the nation. The most common scenario for striking an animal on the highway is while on a paved rural road without much traffic and the sky not quite dark. Do you or someone you love have a health condition that would benefit from assistive technology like adaptive kitchen appliances, mobility aids, or communication equipment? Senior Services of Central Illinois is hosting an event on Wednesday at noon where attendees can learn more about assistive technology options. A link to the event can be found at WMAY.com. Sangamon County Coroner Jim Allman confirms the death of Richard Cryer, 76, of Indianola, Iowa. Mr. Cryer was pronounced dead Wednesday. Mr. Cryer was hospitalized on September 8th after he crashed a boat he was operating during a boat race on Lake Jacksonville. Mr. Cryer died from multiple blunt force injuries sustained in that crash. The death remains under investigation by the Sangamon County coroner. The Lincoln Library is ready to help local school children make decorations for the upcoming fall season. On Wednesday afternoon from 3:30 until 4:30, library staff will guide children in using pipe cleaners and beads to create crafty, colorful ears of corn. The event is free, and the Lincoln Library is located downtown at 326 South 7th Street in Springfield. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Get 11% off your appliance upgrade now at Menards. We offer the lowest prices with the largest in-stock appliance selection. Ready to take home today. New appliances from Menards are meant to make your life easier. Upgrade your home with top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. Upgrade your home with new energy-efficient appliances and save 11%. Good through September 24th. Savings are mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The Silsa Wow Award is an opportunity for our community to recognize unsung heroes, those who make a difference in others' lives through simple acts of kindness or superior customer service. Kindness is a gift to share, and by embracing it, we can all make Springfield a happier place. Do you know someone deserving recognition simply for being kind? Then please take a moment to nominate them for a Wow Award today at silsa-springfield.com. That's CILCSA-springfield.com. The Wow Award is proudly featured on 92.7 WMAY.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 83. Low tonight about 61. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high near 82. Low around 61. Thursday mostly sunny with a high near 81. Low around 60 degrees. Friday there's a chance of showers with a high near 80. And Saturday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 82 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3-2-win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
Shop the largest selection of Amish and American-made furniture all in one location at Hendricks Home Furnishings. From living room upholstery and accent tables to bedroom, dining room, and home office furniture. Select your sizes, wood finishes, colors, leathers, and fabrics of your choice. At Hendricks, the options are endless for style and comfort that will last a lifetime. Come shop Amish and American-made furniture on sale now. Hendricks Home Furnishings in Verdon and online at hendricks.tv, where you can always talk to the owners.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. If you're thinking of taking a cruise this year and have a little extra time, consider a repositioning cruise. At least 2 times a year, major cruise lines need to physically move their ships, not just to other ports, but to other continents. These cruises are longer, with many days at sea. And they're not just cruises, but crossings. For example, this November, board the Holland America New Amsterdam in Vancouver, then sail south through the Panama Canal to Fort Lauderdale. The 20-day cruise starts at just $1,099. That works out to just $54 a day. How about a 14-day trip from Barcelona to Fort Lauderdale on Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas? Try $49 a day. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute.
When it comes to hiring, you don't need to be doing all the searching, screening, and interviewing yourself. What you need is Indeed, the end-to-end solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credits.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
How are you going to enforce compliance?
To set up essentially kiosks to make it convenient for folks to be able to do the process that's outlined in this legislation, so they can keep those. The information is on file with the Illinois State Police pursuant to this statute. That'll be less of an enforcement mechanism and more of a compliance mechanism.
Just don't bring your firearm to the kiosk. That's the message from Illinois State Police, as on the day that they end cash bail statewide, ISP released the rules that they have filed, emergency rules, with the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, set with a hearing next month. 2 weeks after the window opens for this gun and magazine ban registry. What all is in this emergency rule? Well, to talk more about this, somebody who's been watching this very closely, of course, we've chatted with him many times. He's a gun rights expert, and he joins us now via Zoom. Todd Vandermeide, thanks for taking time this morning. Of course, this is something we've been anticipating. The window opens October 1st with the deadline of January 1st. If people don't comply and they're found to be out of compliance, they could face a Class A misdemeanor for the first offense and then a Class 3 felony for a second and subsequent offense. What's in these emergency rules? Good morning.
Well, I think part of it's what's not in these rules, because the statute requires people to register their so-called assault weapons, and it also requires them to register their attachments, which is a whole, but they don't tell us how to do that for the attachments. For the guns, it's your FOID card number, your make, model, serial number. It's going to be done through the FOID website, to do that. But, and firearms traditionally come with make, model, and serial number. They haven't said what they're going to do for something that's pre-68 that doesn't have a serial number. They have no accounting in there for that. It's pretty typical for state police to just completely foobar rule sets because they don't know what they're doing. And I think we see a bunch of that here. They talk, about this being voluntary. I don't know anybody who has been voluntarily running to the state police wanting to register their firearms. So their use of that term in here is kind of laughable.
Well, and on that, it's interesting because, Todd, I mean, you have to check on the form that they propose in the emergency rules here, which, by the way, emergency rules are in effect when they're filed. So this has to get in front of JCAR. So these are in effect October 1st. But on the form that they have in there, it says you have to check mark you're voluntarily providing this information. What does that say about your thoughts on the possible Fifth Amendment implications here?
I think they're trying to get out from underneath that they're trying to say that, well, see, they voluntarily waived, that kind of thing. Kind of like, you get read your Miranda rights and you acknowledge you're going to answer questions. But I don't think it's worth the piece of paper it's written on right now. This whole thing is just more of a regurgitation of the statute. State police is notorious for that. You ask them, how can I legally transport a firearm in the state of Illinois? They cite the statute. They don't answer your question. They just refer you back to the statute. They've done that here. The list that they published is just a regurgitation of what the statute is. It is not saying, oh, well, we find this gun or that gun. They don't talk about what's readily convertible for magazines. And you would think something like that would be in here. They don't talk about how you're supposed to register 50 BMG ammo if you want to keep it if you happen to own a 50 caliber rifle. There's a bunch of stuff in here, and they've put a confiscation order in this. So this is not just you can keep your guns. This is now, if you have your FOIA card suspended for something like a DUI as a condition of bail, and you transfer your guns to a friend to hold them because you don't trust the police department to accurately protect them, you can't get your guns back if your FOIA card's reinstated.
Todd, a few other things in here that are kind of fascinating. Of course, we reported on this just by reading the text of the law that passed and was enacted January 10th. And it talked about how Illinois State Police are to, every October 1st, update this list of firearms that are considered banned. Talk a bit about that, and then also we'll talk about all the exemptions that are spelled out in these rules, the class of people who are exempt, including non-residents who are traveling through the state. But talk a bit about every October 1st. Apparently now, Illinois State Police, if this law is upheld by the courts, Illinois State Police will be able to modify this list of certain firearms that are banned that need to be registered, including or excluding weapons or firearms that are used for hunting. Talk a bit about that.
Sure. So there's a couple of sections here that dovetail in, but they're supposed to update their list. Obviously, new guns come into the market all the time. And it's going to be on the state police to say, hey, by the way, this gun just came on the market and it's a prohibited firearm. That could be some new model of a 22 caliber pistol because it has a threaded barrel. It could be a new semi-automatic firearm that somebody designs that's not out there today. Somebody just told me that Smith & Wesson may be coming out with some side folder 9mm. If it wasn't around in January, obviously that's something that could be added to the list and things like that. You've got that here that's just crazy. And they had to come up with this hunting part because it's legal to hunt with all these guns in the state of Illinois. If you give me a firearm off their list, I can find you a species that it's legal to hunt with. And coyote hunting is a big thing for guys with ARs. And remember that you've got the gun ban, and under the gun ban in 1.9, you then have a list of places you can't take your firearm, which is any public property. And there are some places you can publicly hunt coyotes. And so they had to make some adjustments for that, because if you look at it, there's a lot of guys who own Remington 1187s that have thumbhole stocks, or Benelli Super Black Eagles that have pistol grips that are turkey guns, and they hunt public ground or they use them for hunting. And we've always argued that a lot of these firearms are suitable for hunting, and they just have to, they had to make allowances for it. Now, basically, all they did was restate the wildlife code. They didn't put any real information in there. If you go back and read the wildlife code, hey, this is all legit, no problem. Well, that shows how, one, inept, two, lazy state police are, because that's all they do. They constantly recopy the statute and put it out there like it's something new, and it doesn't answer any questions.
Todd Vandermeide with us, gun rights expert in Illinois, talking about the emergency rules that were filed yesterday by Illinois State Police concerning the gun registry. Todd, looking at those rules, it lays out, not just the firearms that might be exempt for hunting, but it also lays out the exemptions of the various classes of people, including peace officers, qualified law enforcement and retirees, federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, wardens, superintendents, keepers of correctional institutions. It goes on from there. Your thoughts on the exempt classes that are in the law being spelled out in these rules?
I think they just doubled down on what Tom DeVore has been arguing about, is to, the equal protection claims that are within here. I don't think they thought this all the way through. Some of these exemptions, so if you're a National Guard guy, you're exempt while in the performance of your duties. I mean, where in their right mind do the state police think they're going to go arrest a National Guard guy in general when he's on duty? They have no jurisdiction there. But yeah, these are all political classes of people in some way, shape, or form. Retired cops. When I left the military, I left, machine guns, hand grenades, and all the fun stuff behind. I don't know why retired cops are any special category of individuals. And I would wager to say that I have more training and put more rounds down range than 99% of the cops do every year. Yet I don't fall into an exempt category. Not that I want to, but they also trick these guys up. And it's kind of interesting that they say that, if you have it outside, if you have a firearm outside your actual duty, you have to file for an affidavit and you have to have your little exemption noted on your FOID card or whatever. So, which begs the question, are they going to issue a whole new round of FOID cards? Remember when the expiration date went away with the FOID card, they started issuing new FOID cards that had a combination CCL endorsement and there was no expiration date on it. And they said if your FOID card didn't have an expiration date, you had to get called in for every ammo purchase. Well, now they're going to it looks or appears from the rule, be putting some sort of endorsement to have a so-called banned firearm in your possession. Are they going to issue 2.5 million new FOID cards, or a FOID card for everybody that files for an endorsement? And I'm not convinced they're going to get a ton of compliance on this, because what they don't talk about is how they don't talk about accessories and stuff like that. Okay, well, subpart I bans parts. They didn't talk about how they're going to deal with parts. But if I have a 3/32 roll pin that is used for an AR-15 bolt catch, and I can go to, I can't go to gun store and buy it, but I can walk down to Home Depot and I can buy the same roll pin. How are we going to deal with any of that stuff? How are we going to deal with parts? A pistol grip makes a firearm and assault weapon over here. Yet I can put that same pistol grip on a pump action shotgun and it's completely legal. How do you deal with that? They haven't answered any of the real questions with this. All they've done is simply regurgitate what the legislature wrote.
Tom, we got just a few more moments here. Of course, compliance is an issue. Touch on that, but also, I guess, talk about what the next steps are here with JCAR. They meet October 17th, I believe is the date they have laid out. That's more than 2 weeks after the October 1st start date for these rules to ultimately open up that registration window.
Well, as you pointed out, the emergency rules are in effect now that they've been filed. This is what people have to operate under for the beginning of the registration period. Registration opens, or is supposed to open, October 1. We'll see if they have the portal open. We know how poorly the carry stuff went and the dealer licensing stuff went. but JCAR's the next step. And I think if you have one of the 16 legislators is yours that's on JCAR, or 12, 16, I think that it is important to contact them and tell them how bad these rules are. We will be sitting down here shortly and going through every line of the rules and putting our comments together. Then it's going to be important for individual gun owners to start filing comments with the state police, telling them how messed up their rules are and asking them very pointed questions to try to get directed answers. And we know what they're probably going to do. They're probably not going to answer our questions. They'll respond to the comments, but they won't answer them. And at that point in time, it'll be our job to point out to the legislators just how ineffective ISP is actually being and ask them to deny this rule and do something else. But you don't have to run out and register your stuff October 1st. You know, the registration isn't going to close until December 31st. So, and I'm hoping we see something out of the Seventh Circuit and or some other court action long before that to put a halt to this crazy system. Because again, if you have your FOIA card suspended for some reason and it is later reinstated and you transfer your firearms to, I transfer my guns to Greg for safe holding, Greg can't give them back to me. And you're right, they didn't address Freedom Week or the TRO saying all that stuff is verboten. But yet somebody who, decides to move into Illinois next year and bought an AR-15, for Christmas this year, they get to bring their gun in and register it and all's hunky-dory. I think that's another equal protection claim that Mr. DeVore, has a very good chance of success on. So there's a lot of crazy stuff in here. It's typical of the legislature throwing, a bunch of stuff against the wall to see what sticks, and then, not really understanding what they're doing and leaving the state police to try to sort it out. And they're kind of hung out to dry because this isn't their expertise. Let's remember that a week ago, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms was arguing in front of a federal judge that the standard is 8 hours with a full machine shop for readily restored or converted to in the Vanderstock case. That's all on the record in the oral arguments. So when you talk about the magazines and readily restored or converted to, I think the state police have a big problem.
Todd Vandermeide, gun rights expert here in Illinois, talking about the rules, emergency rules Illinois State Police filed yesterday. Greatly appreciate it. We'll talk again in the near future.
Take care, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. 6:56 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
I think what people want from their doctors, as much as anything, is a partner in their care. I'm Dr. Chris McDowell, a physician with SIU Medicine. Our clinical excellence is unmatched in the region. We're home to the latest technology, the best people. But what sets us apart is our commitment to our patients. Being there for them as a partner, a supporter, as an advocate, and even a neighbor. That's what makes SIU Medicine so unique. Learn more at siumed.org.
Keeping you connected with the latest market updates every weekday afternoon at 4:30 and 6:30. Brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
And paid for by Linear Marketing Group. Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average, a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $17,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-480-7003 now. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-480-7003. That's 800-480-7003. Again, 800-480-7003.
I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Work hard, sleep well with Bemco and Just Beds. You work hard, your stress is high. You need the best night's sleep possible. That's just what you'll get at Just Beds. All this month, save on Bemco mattresses. Twin mattresses $149, queen mattresses just $229. Just Beds features Bemco's Arctic Breeze, Max Life, and the all-new Arctic Life mattresses. As always, free delivery, setup, and removal. Work hard, sleep well. Visit the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Spent. They will also have some veto power over this. So this is not just money that is being given to Iran to use however they see fit.
The money, supposed to be used for humanitarian purposes, some are afraid it'll be funneled to other places. President Biden addresses the UN General Assembly this morning. ABC's Andy Field has a preview.
President Biden will defend American leadership around the world and urge continued support for Ukraine in its war against Russia. President spokesperson John Kirby saying Mr. Biden will explain why Ukraine's success is important for all United Nations members. He'll also talk about climate change and the threat he feels it poses, along with helping low and middle-income countries hurt by the Russian invasion.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will address the UN this afternoon. Later this week, he'll be in Washington, D.C. Another deadline from the UAW. Union President Shawn Fain says in a video message that more members will walk off the job on Friday if there's no movement in talks.
That will mark more than a week since our first members walked out. And that will mark more than a week of the Big Three failing to make progress in negotiations toward reaching a deal that does right by our members.
This is ABC News.
Ever have that nagging feeling that you might be leaving money on the table when you're filing your business taxes? Like your longtime bookkeeper or CPA might have missed a credit or deduction your business is eligible for. TaxReview.ai ensures you're not missing out on any state and federal tax credits or even industry or location-specific tax incentives. Plus, you may have major omissions on previous tax returns that can quickly add up to tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash for your business. Make sure you're not paying more taxes than you need to. Double-check your previous tax returns with TaxReview.ai's comprehensive artificial intelligence-driven algorithm. A licensed tax professional will review the AI recommendations, analyze your file, and tell you how much you're owed. Double-checking past tax returns could mean more money coming back to you. The analysis is completely free. Visit taxreview.ai today to begin your free review. That's taxreview.ai.
All right, back at it. This hour, we'll delve even more into the end of cash bail. And in particular, you've got the local reaction. Friday, we talked with Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher. She shared some of her thoughts, and I got reaction to those concerns from proponents of ending cash bail. We'll also hear what Sheriff Jack Campbell had concerns about, and hear the reaction from those who support the end of cash bail. So that's coming up this hour. Also, we'll ask State Representative Carol Ammons about the proposal of $5,000 bonuses that Florida is giving to police officers that move to that state. And what does that mean for Illinois? So, talked with Chris Southwood from the Fraternal Order of Police. We'll share some of that as well coming up later on this hour. So, another jam-packed hour here with WMAY. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The city of Springfield has been awarded disaster relief money pursuant to an announcement Friday covering about a dozen counties in Illinois. City Water, Light, and Power estimates that it incurred $9 million in disaster-related expenses, while other city departments spent an additional $2 million for expenses related to disaster health and safety and debris management. The city is expecting to receive 75% of approved expenses from FEMA. The Illinois Department of Human Services has just received $10 million in federal funding to support independent living and professional development for students with disabilities aged 10 to 24. The money comes through the U.S. Department of Education's Disability Innovation Fund, which supports state and local agencies as well as federally funded centers for independent living. Do you or someone you love have a health condition that would benefit from assistive technology like adaptive kitchen appliances, mobility aids, or communication equipment? Senior Services of Central Illinois is hosting an event on Wednesday at noon where attendees can learn more about assistive technology options. A link to the event can be found at WMAY.com. Sangamon County Coroner Jim Allman confirms the death of Richard Cryer, 76, of Indianola, Iowa. Mr. Cryer was pronounced dead Wednesday. Mr. Cryer was hospitalized on September 8th after he crashed a boat he was operating during a boat race on Lake Jacksonville. Mr. Cryer died from multiple blunt force injuries sustained in that crash. The death remains under investigation by the Sangamon County Coroner. Tuesday evenings mean the chance to improve your drawing skills at the Pharmacy Gallery and Art Space located at 623 East Adams Street in Springfield. Meetings start at 6:30 p.m., and participants will have an opportunity to improve drawing skills, hand-eye coordination, and analytical skills in a studio setting. Work in the medium of your choice. All skill levels are welcome, and donations are appreciated. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3-2-win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Inflation is nothing more than a legal form of theft, because with every new round of money printing, the value of your 401k or IRA is decreased through the dilution of the money supply. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and while you still can, I highly recommend you consider physical gold for your retirement account. Why? Because gold provides real wealth preservation that can withstand anything. Even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898. And my friends from Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text safeguard to 989898 to request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
Listen and watch interviews with the biggest newsmakers. Subscribe to 92.7 WMAY on YouTube.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 83. Low tonight about 61. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high near 82. Low around 61. Thursday mostly sunny with a high near 81. Low around 60 degrees. Friday there's a chance of showers with a high near 80. And Saturday a chance of morning showers with a high near 82 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Clock Tower Community Bank is everything you want in a community bank. Local people making local decisions for local success. With 6 convenient locations in Springfield and Chatham, our experienced local bankers are here for you in every way, from opening a checking account to getting a loan. And because we're local, we share the commitment to the success and future of our community. Visit Clock Tower Community Bank today. Clock Tower Community Bank, a division of Morton Community Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Work hard, sleep well with Bemco and Just Beds. You work hard, your stress is high. You need the best night's sleep possible. That's just what you'll get at Just Beds. All this month, save on Bemco mattresses. Twin mattresses $149, queen mattresses just $229. Just Beds features Bemco's Arctic Breeze, Max Life, and the all-new Arctic Life mattresses. As always, free delivery, setup, and removal. Work hard, sleep well. Visit the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
More reaction to the end of cash bail in Illinois, the first state to end money bond statewide. Of course, the way we got here was they passed a measure, pretty sweeping bill back in early 2021 when they reformed things on police and also the criminal justice system, allowing for the end of cash bail to be implemented January 1st of 2023. While before that, multiple iterations, changing and closing loopholes in the law over concerns of what was a detainable offense and what was not a detainable offense. Bottom line is, advocates say that people are innocent until proven guilty. And when they're arrested, alleged of a crime, they shouldn't have to languish behind bars because they can't afford to bail themselves out as those with money are able to do. So they went ahead and got rid of money bond and said that lower level nonviolent crimes, people are able to get out on a first offense and they just got to show up to court and go through the legal process. Others with more serious violent crimes, if it's proven that they are a threat to the public, they can be held without bond pending trial. So obviously a new era here in Illinois with the start of the end of money bond yesterday. But on Friday, if you tuned in, you heard some of the conversation that I had with Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher, who shared her concerns as Springfield police will have to be dealing with, arresting individuals for low-level crimes and taking them to the Sangamon County lockup and have them processed only to be back out on the streets, where the concern is they could be rearrested for another crime. Here's Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher sounding off on some of her concerns.
My fear is, and my gut tells me crime's going to go up, and that's not a good thing for Springfield. As the mayor, I want our citizens and our visitors to feel safe, and so crime does not equal safety. Because of that, I did hold a meeting, as I told you earlier, with the Sheriff's Department, the State's Attorney's Office, the jail, my police department, and my legal department, so we could all be on the same page and talk about the Safety Act, because it is a big, big change. I want our residents, to remember to keep their doors locked in their homes and their cars locked. I get police reports all the time. I see them, and the number of times I see cars stolen or things stolen from a car, and it's because the car was unlocked and the keys are in it. So I would just express to our residents, please stop doing that. Please keep your personal belongings out of the view in the car windows, because they might get smashed if they see a computer bag or a laptop bag, a purse. One of the reports I read, someone had a diaper bag and they smashed it because they probably didn't know it was just a diaper bag, right? So just make sure those things aren't in public view. Lock the doors, lock the windows, lock your house.
So again, that's Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher sounding off on her concerns over the Safety Act, saying in her gut she feels that crime rates will increase. While Springfield Alderman Roy Williams Jr. was with those advocating for the end of money bond during a news conference yesterday, and he provided reaction to the mayor's thoughts on no cash bail ending, and I guess the beginning of no cash bail with the end of money bond starting yesterday.
That's the ultimate fear mongering. We already, before pretrial, should be locking our doors to our cars and not putting things out in public for others to see. And people have already been breaking in cars. So I don't think this new law will increase anything like that. I just think it's fear-mongering.
And you had Benjamin Riddell with the ACLU of Illinois also wanting to sound off on this.
I just wanted to get in to add one point to what the alderman had to say and to the mayor of Springfield's comments about crime increasing. The quote that I saw said her gut told her that. Thankfully, we don't have to rely on our gut because we have research. We have other jurisdictions that have implemented, phasing out money bond, and in every one of those jurisdictions, there hasn't been an increase in crime. So we don't have to rely on our guts. We can see what's happened in other places. We can see what the research shows. And we know that we're doing the right thing and that this law will improve not only fairness and justice, but safety, ultimately.
So we'll hear a little bit more of the back and forth of the proponents reacting to those who have concerns over the end of cash bond here in the state of Illinois coming up. Stay tuned for that. But, people are calling in, so let's go ahead and get to your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Good morning, Bishop.
Hey.
Did you say we're the only state that has this?
Statewide. There are other jurisdictions across the country that may have something like this, like in Washington, D.C. I think Manhattan has something similar, but nothing statewide.
So one city has it. So how is that guy that was just talking, how's he going off of past records if not a whole entire state has had this done yet? How is he predicting? If the mayor can't predict off of her gut, how can he predict off of no information? Because there's not another state that has the whole entire state done like this. And since when do we give criminals all this free, fair stuff? You're a criminal. You did something wrong.
Well, listen, you have a presumption of innocence until guilt is proven in a court of law. That's where they're coming from on this. You can be arrested and suspected of a crime, but you are innocent until proven guilty.
And get out. You can kidnap somebody and get out on bail.
And there's a whole host of different crimes that are being highlighted here with concerns people have. Appreciate the call. Let's get to another one, 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Yeah, hey, it's awfully funny to me when a Democrat passes a law or tries to do something, if we have concerns, it's fear-mongering, which I've heard that a lot about this. Yet when they try to take AR-15s and this and that, it's a constitutionally protected right. We have a concern. I don't.
Your phone's breaking up just a little bit. I think what I'm hearing is that they'll say it's fear mongering if you raise concerns about the end of cash bail possibly leading to increased crime rates, but it's not fear mongering when they say every gun needs to go away because criminals use guns in violent crime.
Well, and 70% of the crimes in Chicago are committed by weapons that are not registered. And then that's the thing, too. They say they have data for this. Well, there's data the other way, too. And it's a constitutionally protected right. I don't get it.
Appreciate the call. Some people seeing some hypocrisy in how we go about debating these issues of public safety. Coming back, we'll get to more of your phone calls, but we'll also hear the concern that Sheriff Jack Campbell had here locally and the reaction of those who supports the end of cash bail, which was yesterday, the beginning of the end of money bond in Illinois. So stay tuned. Much more coming up, including your phone calls at 217-629-7970. You can also email me, bishoponair@gmail.com. Or you can find me on social media. Just search Bishop on Air. All right, 7:18. Want to remind you that the Land of Lincoln Honor Flight for 2023, the last one for the year, it's scheduled today. They're probably already in the air. But later on tonight, they'll be back at the Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport where you can welcome those veterans returning from Washington, D.C. to see the war memorials in their honor. The Land of Lincoln Honor Flight, again, returning at 9:30 tonight at the Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport. Get more information about all of this at landoflincolnhonorflight.org. 7:19 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Join the fight against cancer at Denim and Diamonds 2023. This year's gala is Saturday, October 14th at the Crown Plaza, Springfield. As always, all money raised stays right here in Central Illinois, supporting local cancer research and patient comforts at Simmons Cancer Institute at SIU School of Medicine. Tickets and tables are available at siumed.edu/cancer. Denim and Diamonds is sponsored by Quick and Easy, Memorial Health, Simmons Hanley Conroy, Isringhausen Imports, Jeff and Tina Bennett, Roland and Linda Foles, and the Noonan Patton Group at Merrill Lynch.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second-side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
One of the easiest things you can do to prevent getting stranded tomorrow is check your battery today. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery. If you can take about 5 minutes out of your day, we can make absolutely sure your car battery is ready before winter. Just pull into Rex, And we'll not only test the battery, but we'll make sure your alternator is doing its important job. Just because your car is running well now doesn't mean it's going to start when the temp drops. If you find your battery is near the end of its life, Rex Battery has car batteries for every make and model on the road. And more often than not, we have them for less than other places. Batteries are all we do, and we want to make sure yours is strong before winter hits. Just pull into Rex Battery anytime and ask for a free battery test. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Your next vacation to Punta Gorda, Fort Myers, Florida is just a quick flight away with nonstop flights from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Enjoy lounging on the beach, golfing the stunning courses, or catching up with family in the Sunshine State. Find yourself a warm getaway with low fares from Allegiant and your friends at Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, where parking is always free. Book your trip today at Allegiant.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Why do residents love Springfield Supportive Living? Just ask Mike.
I am so glad that I came here. I really appreciate that they have Wi-Fi here because I like playing on my tablet and looking up things and playing games, and I'm just happy that they have that.
With an experienced staff every step of the way.
I get along with them really well. They're a lot of fun, and it's just been a really good experience.
SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
Phone lines are open for you to sound off on the end of money bond. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. In the meantime, let's hear more of the local reaction. Conversation I had with Jack Campbell, Sheriff of Sangamon County, on Friday in anticipation of yesterday's start of the end of cash bond. He raised some concerns he has, but we'll hear also from the proponents of the end of cash bond, including the ACLU and State Representative Carol Ammons. But here is what Sheriff Jack Campbell had to say on Friday about his concerns.
Well, we're working out now that a summons has to be served initially, and we're working out now. We believe we're going to be able to send those out by mail, and not even certified mail, just by mail initially. We think it also is going to lead to more warrants down the road when people continue not to appear in court.
So the concern, again, is that you're going to have more warrants having to be issued when people do not show up to court after being released on low-level offenses because of no cash bond. ACLU of Illinois' Ben Riddell.
No reputable research that shows that requiring people to pay money bond is actually an effective way of getting people to come back to court. People come back to court because of the incentives that exist that, you know, they can have a warrant for their arrest. They can be brought to jail if they don't come to court. And what other jurisdictions that have lessened the use of money bond have demonstrated is that sending somebody a court reminder or via text or a phone call is a much more effective way of getting people to come back to court than charging money bond, which has not been shown to increase court appearance. So all the research as well as the experience of states that have begun to phase out money bonds suggests that rates of court appearance won't go down as a result of this law. So we don't think that the fear is well-founded that jail populations would increase because of an increase of people failing to appear in court.
Well, there are others that raised concerns about the possibility that prosecutors will just end up having to dismiss cases en masse after seeing a possible backlog of failure to appear cases. So State Representative Carol Ammons, Democrat from Urbana, sounding off.
Well, we shouldn't leave things in our vehicle in plain sight anyway, no matter where you live. But the reality is far less exciting. Washington, D.C. has had a pretrial no cash system for almost 30 years, and they're not the only one. So this whole concept about the sky is going to fall because somebody got out of jail, a person who is a repeat offender, they're going to end up where we have that second phase called the penitentiary. They're going to end up there eventually. The reality is that every single person in the United States is allegedly innocent until they're proven guilty. And we should not use things like cash to secure their freedom. That's a liberty question. And the second part of this that we need to make sure we remember is that the court systems were never designed to be funded by the people twice. Because, see, we already pay taxes. And we fund our criminal justice system in our county already. But this is a backdoor tax for poor people largely because rich people can get out and it doesn't faze them as much. So we want to right-size a system that has been going in the wrong direction for a very long time. And the judges know this. They know the law, and they know that they are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but we are body attaching them with cash in this old system. As of today, we stop that, and we say, hey, prove why this person should not and cannot be released safely to their community pending their hearing. And let me just say, if any one of us has ever been in a court, whether it's a traffic ticket or any other thing, you want the best possible opportunity to present your case. That's all that you're asking for. And you want to get the presumption of innocence, not the appearance of guilt. And when you don't have cash to get out and you're sitting on a monitor watching the judge and the people in the courtroom from jail, it's very hard to defend yourself in that process. And everyone knows this. But now we have a system that relies more on risk as opposed to cash.
So obviously a lot of back and forth on all of this, and with the implementation of the end of cash bail yesterday, we'll see how this plays out. One thing that I'm going to try to do this week and into next week is reach out to some of the more populated counties across Illinois and find out how many people were released pending trial and what crimes they were released for. So we'll obviously try to break those numbers down, but it's the beginning of the end. Yesterday, marking that start of the end of cash bond. Let's take a call here at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, Greg, quick question. Was that last person an actual elected official?
State Representative Carol Ammons, Democrat from Urbana.
Wow, people believe that stuff. That's off the rockers. Okay.
Well, what in particular are you highlighting questionable belief?
Well, basically her entire philosophy, I guess. I don't know if maybe I'm sure I'll be called racist. But I think that whole philosophy she just had was just wrong.
And as far as saying that, people have a hard time defending themselves when they're in a video monitor talking to a judge, or, another argument is that people who are arrested for certain crimes, if they can't make bail, then, they could lose their job and they could, lose out on, seeing their families while they're awaiting trial. You're saying that...
He said eventually that person will end up in the penitentiary. Well, eventually means that person's out on the street. Did anyone not catch that?
Well, she's talking about those who are repeat offenders. Because keep in mind, first-time, low-level, nonviolent crimes, people can get out pre-trial, so they won't have any cash bond. They'll have conditions that they got to return to court for their hearing, but if they don't return to court, then they could be picked up on a warrant and have to stay behind bars at a county jail. Or if they get picked up on another offense, say they broke into they're allegedly breaking into cars. If that's a second offense, then they could be held pending trial.
So again, right now we're saying let's just let them go. And then we'll wait for that second offense. Eventually, we'll get them. No, that's not how society works.
Well, it's how it is now in Illinois, starting yesterday. Appreciate the call, 217-629-7970. That's the number. You can also email me, bishoponair@gmail.com, or you can find me on social media. Just search Bishop on Air on X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just, again, search Bishop on Air. All right, coming back. I asked State Representative Carol Ammons about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' efforts putting up billboards promoting a $5,000 bonus for law enforcement to move to Florida. So I asked Carol Ammons to respond to that, but I also connected with the president of the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police, Chris Southwood, and got his response as well. So we'll hear both of that coming back here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. It is now 7:32 on WMAY.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Older adults enrolled in the Illinois Department on Aging's Emergency Home Response Service will soon have the option to add fall detection technology, GPS monitoring, or both features to their medical alert device. The department made the announcement as part of an effort to raise awareness on preventing falls and reducing the risk of falls for older adults. The new technology can recognize falls when they happen and automatically notify a local support center. More information at WMAY.com. The Pretrial Fairness Act took effect Monday, making Illinois the first state in the nation to eliminate cash bail. Before ordering pretrial detention, judges will need to find that either the defendant poses a flight risk or is credibly accused of committing a so-called forcible felony. Detainable offenses include murder, assault, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, animal torture, and DUI causing great bodily harm. Tuesday evenings mean the chance to improve your drawing skills at the Pharmacy Gallery and Art Space located at 623 East Adams Street in Springfield. Meetings start at 6:30 p.m., and participants will have an opportunity to improve drawing skills, hand-eye coordination, and analytical skills in a studio setting. Work in the medium of your choice. All skill levels are welcome, and donations are appreciated. Wednesdays are bike tour days for everyone interested in learning more about Springfield's past. The 5-mile history tour starts at 10 a.m. at the Dana Thomas House and includes the Black Firehouse, Lincoln Home, Old State Capitol, Lincoln Tomb, and other sites. The 8-mile tour begins at the Lincoln Tomb at 1 o'clock. Helmets are required. Information about other hike and bike history tours can be found at WMAY.com. The Old Capitol Farmers Market is open for business this Wednesday and every Wednesday and Saturday through October 28th. Vendors will have fresh produce, crafts, and other local items for sale from 8 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. The Farmers Market is located at 4th and Adams Street in downtown Springfield. The city of Springfield has been awarded disaster relief money pursuant to an announcement Friday covering about a dozen counties in Illinois. City Water, Light, and Power estimates that it incurred $9 million in disaster-related expenses, while other city departments spent an additional $2 million for expenses related to disaster health and safety and debris management. The city is expecting to receive 75% of approved expenses from FEMA. Bring your toddler to Lincoln Library in downtown Springfield on Monday mornings at 10 o'clock for Toddler Time Story Time. Books, songs, and fun activities are designed to help children from 18 to 36 months develop language skills. Children must be accompanied by an adult. More information at WMAY.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
Don't miss the Style of Hope fashion show benefiting the communities of Hope. Thursday, September 21st at the BOS Center in downtown Springfield. Doors open at 6 p.m. The runway lights up at 7:30. Featuring local boutiques and models, Children of Hope walk the runway. Pop-up stores will be available, live and silent auctions, high-end hors d'oeuvres, and entertainment galore. Come hear inspiring stories and be moved by Hope's impactful mission. For more info, search the Style of Hope on Facebook or visit hope.us/Style of Hope to purchase your ticket today.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
interview? Catch the podcast whenever, wherever. 92.7 WMAY is on demand at WMAY.com.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 83. Low tonight about 61. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high near 82. Low around 61. Thursday mostly sunny with a high near 81. Low around 60 degrees. Friday there's a chance of showers with a high near 80. And Saturday a chance of morning showers with a high near 82 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Hey, just want to park myself here for a minute to tell you about BLH Computers. They are the place to take that computer when strange things start to happen. Maybe they're starting to pop up on the screen. You're using that computer for business and personal stuff, so you're always downloading files. You're hopping on and off of Zoom and Google Meet sessions. You got plenty of tabs open. The spreadsheets are in there. The Facebook, your email is in there. And don't get me started on all of the updates that are coming down from your antivirus software, Microsoft in there. It could be slowing things down for sure, so it might be time for some badly needed repairs, and that is where I suggest BLH Computers. If you buy a computer from BLH Computers, you get the BLH guarantee. That means no labor charge, in-stock parts are free. Even if you don't buy the computer at BLH Computers, just a flat labor charge, in-stock parts are still included, so you can keep things running quickly and efficiently with the help of the team at BLH Computers. They are in Springfield, they're in Jacksonville, they're also in Taylorville. You can learn more online at blhcomputers.com.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Police morale, obviously a major issue, not just in Illinois, not just in Chicago, but across the country. And things that, can affect that, of course, crime rates, of course, how prosecutors treat crime on a local level, how state houses treat police on a statewide level. And you've got the question of morale also working into the end of cash bond in Illinois. And that's something that Sheriff Jack Campbell shared with us on Friday when we talked with him. And I want to share those comments and then also delve into what Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is doing to attract Illinois law enforcement to Florida. But first, Jack Campbell, Sheriff of Sangamon County, he spells out some of the concerns he has with the end of cash bond.
Law enforcement officers, we're having, it's a calling for us. And when you take away their ability to protect our community, this is what most of us started doing this for, not to get rich, but because we cared about safety in our community and we wanted to stand for something. When you take that away from officers on the street, when you take that away from correctional officers that are used to housing these individuals and keeping them off the street, you begin to kill the police spirit. And I'm very concerned about that, is to keep the morale of our people up and remind them to go out and do their job every day. And hopefully, politically, we can get this taken care of down the road.
So we'll see if it does get taken care of down the road, as Sheriff Campbell said he's hopeful for. But in the meantime, you've got Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' office announcing they're putting up billboards in the Chicagoland area, announcing a $5,000 bonus for law enforcement from Illinois to move to Florida to become police officers. DeSantis said in a statement, under Illinois law, foreign nationals are now able to become police officers. Additionally, Illinois became the first state to completely eliminate its cash bail system, allowing dangerous criminals criminals back into communities, the governor said. DeSantis went on to say, in contrast, Governor DeSantis has signed historic law and order legislation from 3 consecutive years in a row, including House Bill 1627 earlier this year, which protects Floridians from the disastrous bail reform policies being pushed by liberal politicians and prosecutors in high crime jurisdictions across the country. So again, that's Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' take on why they're doing this in Florida. And they say that they've already attracted about 37 police officers from Illinois to go to Florida. Well, I asked Urbana Democratic State Representative Carol Ammons to react to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' efforts to attract law enforcement to Florida.
People have the right to go and work and live wherever they want in the United States. They're citizens. So if they so choose to go to Florida, it's beautiful.
Well, and I think the crux of that is the questions of police morale. We've even heard here locally that police morale could take a hit with something like this because law enforcement goes out, arrests somebody on a first-time offense. Hours later, they're back out on the street, and they might be rearresting them again, and that could compound.
I think that's the nature of law enforcement, unfortunately. Law enforcement's job is simply to make the arrest and to take them to the next step where there's supposed to be issued some level of justice and hearing. Law enforcement who feels that the law should be harsher and penalize people more, that's a personal view and ideology. I think right now what we should be looking at is right-sizing a system that has gone in a direction that I think majority of the people of the state of Illinois anyway agree is in the wrong direction. We have an opportunity here before us. This is not the first time we had to pass a law that changed the very fabric of the United States. And certainly not the first time we had to change a law that changes the judicial in the way that it's doing now. And we've experienced that. So whoever wants to move away have the right to do that. This is United States, so you can go wherever you like. But the reality is that the court system and the police, who are so important to this process, must understand the law, must follow the law in its implementation and administer justice to the people because they are innocent until they actually have their hearing to prove their guilt or innocence. So I hope that they would take that as a consideration. Morale is morale, right? It's a very difficult job. I sometimes struggle to get out the bed, right? It's a difficult job. But morale can certainly be awakened and improved by following the law. Don't make it more difficult than it really needs to be.
So again, Carol Ammons, Urbana State Representative, reacting to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis offering up $5,000 bonuses for Illinois law enforcement to move to Florida. I connected with Chris Southwood. He is the president of the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police, and he reacted to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' move.
I would say good for Governor DeSantis. And as far as Illinois law enforcement, it would be very hard for me to hold it against, certainly, any police officer who decided to take advantage of Governor DeSantis' offer. I mean, think about it. Why wouldn't you?
So again, Southwood saying, hey, more power to DeSantis. But one thing that has been brought up in this debate is that Illinois law enforcement officers make more on average than Florida law enforcement officers. In Illinois, the average is $69,000 a year. In Florida, the average is $56,500 a year. So even with that $5,000 bonus, that would bump that up to what, $61,000? That's still about $7,000 shy of what it is in Illinois. But money's not the only consideration here when it comes to compensation for law enforcement. In Illinois, you've got the first responder pension system that allows for 3% compounded for those who are in Tier 1 and so on, and you got Tier 2 benefits which are in question, but everybody also looks at just the overall cost of Illinois pensions and the price that it has on property taxes locally and the compounding nature of all of that. The cost of living you've got to take into account as well. But again, to the issue of police morale, Chris Southwood sounding off, saying that some people might take up DeSantis on his offer, others won't.
Certainly it will be with some, but certainly not all. Sure, we may make more, but at the same time, there's a lot to be said for how you're treated and how well you're supported. And you could clearly see in Illinois law enforcement is not very well supported, certainly by the political establishment.
And some final thoughts here from Chris Southwood reacting to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' move to offer up a $5,000 bonus for Illinois law enforcement to move to Florida, to the Sunshine State.
Well, like I said, I would be hard-pressed to hold it against any police officer that decided to take advantage of Governor DeSantis' offer. And, you know, good for the governor, Governor DeSantis, for making the offer. It is nice to be appreciated, at least by, you know, someone in politics out there. You know, with the Safety Act and now the no cash bail, and you look what's going on in Chicago. Look what just happened this weekend with the Chicago officers being, one of the officers in particular being brutally beaten by an illegal immigrant. And nobody wants to address the real core of the problems. It seems like here in Illinois we've got a political establishment that cares more for criminals than they do for law-abiding citizens, certainly more than they do for police officers.
So that's come kind of the back and forth there on the issue of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis offering up $5,000 bonuses for Illinois law enforcement to move to Florida. It's not just Illinois law enforcement. They say that several thousand people from across the country have taken the governors up on this issue. But in Illinois, about 37 have. And so far, nationwide, Florida has spent $15 million on that national recruitment effort. Let's take a call at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning. Doesn't Florida have no state tax? Isn't it one with no state tax, I thought? Is that correct?
No state income tax. I believe that is correct.
So,
I think that Florida does not have an income tax.
Exactly. So the disparity in the pay doesn't matter that much when you figure it that way.
Well, and like I said, you look at property taxes as well. People who own property, they're paying higher property taxes in Illinois than a lot of other states. I don't know the comparisons to Florida, though, but that's just one of the factors. Yeah, no state income tax.
Yep, thanks.
Appreciate the call. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. Again, 217-629-7970. So I don't think it's the last we've heard of this. Of course, you've got DeSantis saying that he looks forward to welcoming Illinois men and women in blue to the law and order state. And you've got others pushing back saying, hey, everybody can move to where they want to move. It's a free country. So fascinating to hear the back and forth there. All right, it is Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. Take a break, come back and open it up for a few of your phone calls. But don't forget, you've got the honor flight that's already in the air. They're heading over to Washington, D.C. with veterans of foreign wars to see the memorials in their honor. They'll be back in Springfield at the Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport at 9:30 tonight. So you can go and welcome in those who fought bravely for this country, traveling back from Washington, D.C. All right, so make sure you put that on your agenda for today. This evening, 9:30, Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport. Get details at landoflincolnhonorflight.org. It's 750 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
Reel in everything you need to catch fish at B. Hayes Bait and Tackle, 422 South 11th Street in Springfield. Mad Cats, Crappie Monster, Zoom, Catfish Sumo, Daiwa, Zebco, Eagle Claw, Ancient Mariner, Kamagatsu, Guggen, and Skipjack. Plus, get your fishing license, even hunting license, and live bait, including minnows and crickets. More inventory arriving daily. Check out their new store today. Find them on Facebook, too. Open 7 days a week, 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. B. Hayes Bait and Tackle, BHAYES. Springfield's newest addition for everything fishing.
Are you wanting to hire a new cleaning company for your business? Do you want a company that is professional and has excellent customer service? Hi, I'm Kirk, the guy in the bow tie and founder of Clean Impact. We're a local cleaning company who cares about making things right. There's no need to wait any longer. We can make the transition to Clean Impact simple and painless. You can benefit from our 100% satisfaction guarantee. Customer service and keeping your office clean and healthy are our #1 priorities.
Trust Clean Impact with your business cleaning questions and needs. To start a conversation, visit cleanimpactllc.com today.
Work hard, sleep well with Bemco and Just Beds. You work hard, your stress is high. You need the best night's sleep possible. That's just what you'll get at Just Beds. All this month, save on Bemco mattresses. Twin mattresses $149, queen mattresses just $229. Just Beds features Bemco's Arctic Breeze, Max Life, and the all-new Arctic Life mattresses. As always, free delivery, setup, and removal. Work hard, sleep well. Visit the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds.
And paid for by Linear Marketing Group. Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average, a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $17,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-480-7003 now. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-480-7003. That's 800-480-7003. Again, 800-480-7003.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Peggy at Springfield Supportive Living loves to stay busy.
I love the garden area. It's so peaceful and they got the walkway. And I walk a lot. I walk 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day at least.
And then there are Peggy's numerous hobbies.
I like to craft and sew and crochet and keep myself pretty busy. And they have a lot of activities and I just enjoy being here.
At SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Barcom Security. You know, we're the Have a Secure Day security systems company, right here out on South Cokie Mill Road. Family owned and managed for nearly 50 years. We are local experts in residential, small business, and commercial security systems. Family owned, family values, treating you just like family. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll actually pick up the phone. You can check us out at barcomsecurity.com, and as always, have a secure day.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Got a few moments here for your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. Been trucking hard all morning long, talking about the end of cash bail, but also the gun registry rules that Illinois State Police released yesterday, emergency rules that are in place for the firearms registration that's set to open October 1st. Those emergency rules will be before the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules at their October 17th meeting. So you've got that to contend with as well. But you can also react to the story we just discussed, and that is about Florida looking to attract law enforcement from around the country to Florida with $5,000 signing bonuses, and around 37 law enforcement, according to a news release from last week, moving from Illinois to Florida. And that's just part of the thousands from across the country that have decided to move to Florida to take up Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' bonus proposal. of $5,000. So you can sound off on that as well. Again, 217-629-7970. You can also email me, bishoponair@gmail.com. Again, bishoponair@gmail.com. Or find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. A lot of activity this morning on YouTube during the live stream. People sounding off on all kinds of things. Everything from the end of cash bail to the emergency rules for the gun registration. So you can sound off live on the air at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. Still to come, we've got a ton more to get to, including the latest back and forth out of Washington, D.C. politics. It's rather fascinating to sit back and watch all of that. But you've also got up in Chicago the discussion about ending tipped wages. What does that mean for your dining experience? So maybe we talk about that as well. Plus, you've got a slew of Supreme Court cases heard in Illinois. The Illinois Supreme Court's back at it today in their fall session where they have a bunch of cases. We'll review some of those, some fascinating cases, including a case about the firearm owner ID card and the Freedom of Information Act. Plus, a case about a bicyclist suing the city of Chicago for hitting a pothole and being injured. Chicago saying that, they didn't have that street labeled as a bike street. So the Supreme Court's going to hear that and a few other things as well. Some fascinating cases coming up from the Illinois Supreme Court that we'll just touch on as well. So a lot to get to next hour, but of course your phone calls in the minute or so we've got left at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. AS3SXP on YouTube says, did we ever figure out how the 3 seashells work? What is that from? Is that Demolition Man? Is that what that is? That Sylvester Stallone movie? It's not Judge Dredd, right? It's the one where Stallone is like frozen in time and then he's reawoken and Sandra Bullock's in it and I think Rob Schneider's in it too, because he has that line where Sylvester Stallone's character sees 3 seashells in a bathroom in the future and he's like, he doesn't know how to use those, and Rob Schneider he doesn't know how to use the seashells. Is that what that's from? That's pretty fun. I appreciate the the laugh this morning. Yep, Demolition Man. He confirmed that. Sweet. All right, cool. Just making sure. You can comment live on the YouTube channel. You can email me, bishoponair@gmail.com, or you can message me on other social media channels. All right, so make that happen. All right, coming up on 8 o'clock now, it is Springfield's Morning News on WMAY.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. Fort Belvoir, Virginia, scene of a long-awaited reunion. 5 Americans imprisoned in Iran for years are now back in the United States. Their freedom, the result of a complex prisoner swap. ABC's Mary Bruce has the details.
In exchange for their freedom, the U.S. granting clemency to 5 Iranians and unfreezing $6 billion in Iranian oil revenue tied up by U.S. sanctions. But U.S. officials are adamant it will only be used for humanitarian purposes.
We have the means and mechanisms to make sure that happens.
But critics argue unlocking any funds for Iran is dangerous and may encourage its authoritarian regime to take more Americans hostage.
President Biden speaks to the UN General Assembly this morning. Ukrainian President Zelensky's address to the body will be this afternoon. A diplomatic issue between India and Canada. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accusing the Indian government of involvement in the assassination of a Sikh activist. The Marine Corps today begins removing debris of a crashed F-35 stealth fighter from a field in South Carolina. The wreckage discovered a day after the pilot ejected because of a mishap over the weekend.
The questions about the whole incident still outnumber the answers. What was the specific problem that had the pilot bailing out after flipping on the autopilot? Why didn't the plane's transponder function, allowing it to be tracked by radar? Specialists with the U.S. Navy have begun an investigation.
ABC's Jim Ryan. UAW President Shawn Fain calling on the Big Three Detroit car makers to come up with a reasonable contract proposal by noon Friday.
We've been available 24/7 to bargain a deal that recognizes our members' sacrifices and contributions to these record profits. Still, the Big Three failed to get down to business.
Fain during a video message to members. This is ABC News.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
The city of Chicago aiming to end tipped wages. You someone who enjoys going out to eat and getting good service? I am. Will the end of tipped wages lead to better service or mediocre, just to get by service? What do you think of that? We'll revisit the debate about tipping. We'll also cover some of the Illinois Supreme Court cases expected today, and you've got D.C. politics just continuing to kind of feel a little dirty. But also maybe we touch on that fighter jet that seemed to have been lost for a bit until finally it crashed somewhere in South Carolina. So stay tuned. We'll get to all of that this hour with your phone calls at 217-629-7970. It's 8:04. I'm Greg Bishop on WMAY.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Pretrial Fairness Act took effect yesterday. The first station in the nation to eliminate cash bail. Before ordering pretrial detention, judges will need to find that either the defendant poses a flight risk or is credibly accused of committing a so-called forcible felony. Detainable offenses include murder, assault, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, animal torture, and DUI causing great bodily harm. The Lincoln Library is ready to help local school children make decorations for the upcoming fall season. On Wednesday afternoon from 3:30 until 4:30, library staff will guide children in using pipe cleaners and beads to create crafty, colorful ears of corn. The event is free, and the Lincoln Library is located downtown at 326 South 7th Street in Springfield. Autumn means deer are at their most active, and the fall season is the most likely for collisions between cars and the large animals. State Farm Insurance warns motorists that more than 55,000 Illinois drivers collide with animals every year, ranking the state number 11 in the nation. The most common scenario for striking an animal on the highway is while on a paved rural road without much traffic and the sky not quite dark. The Old Capitol Farmers Market is open for business this Wednesday and every Wednesday and Saturday through October 28th. Vendors will have fresh produce, crafts, and other local items for sale from 8 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. The Farmers Market is located at 4th and Adams Street in downtown Springfield. Bring your toddler to Lincoln Library in downtown Springfield on Monday mornings at 10 o'clock for Toddler Time Story Time. Books, songs, and fun activities are designed to help children from 18 to 36 months develop language skills. Children must be accompanied by an adult. More information at WMAY.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Academy Sports and Outdoors is the sporting goods store that's all about fun. And a new location is coming to Springfield. With great brands at the best prices, you'll always find the gear you need to play the games you love and enjoy your favorite outdoor activities with your favorite people. Academy has it all in store and online. No matter how you have fun out there, your next adventure starts here. Your new Academy Sports and Outdoors store is coming soon to Springfield. Until then, check out academy.com.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3-2-win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
And paid for by Linear Marketing Group. Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average, a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $17,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-480-7003 now. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-480-7003. That's 800-480-7003. Again, 800-480-7003.
Get today's headlines delivered to your inbox every morning. Subscribe now at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 83. Low tonight about 61. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 82, low around 61. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 81, low around 60 degrees. Friday, there's a chance of showers with a high near 80. And Saturday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 82 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Conn's a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When your people are ready, your business is ready. Cintas makes sure they have what they need to perform their best. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, fire protection systems that are tested and inspected, first aid and safety supplies, floor mats, or cleaning tools and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together, so visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
As someone who served at a restaurant, sit-down restaurant, where how well you were a server really played into how much money you took home that night, I'm always fascinated by the debate over the questions of tipped wages and whether or not that even should be a thing. Well, up in Chicago, they're looking at possibly getting rid of tipped wages. What does that mean for you, the consumer, wanting to go out to a restaurant? Would love to hear your thoughts at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Let's take a look at the Chicago Tribune here, reporting that Chicago could become largest U.S. city to independently abolish tipped wages under Mayor Brandon Johnson's compromise. And it goes on to talk about how Chicago would be the largest American city to move on its own to abolish a sub-minimum wage for tipped workers under a deal reached Monday between Mayor Brandon Johnson's allies in the city council and the restaurant lobby. So you had a proposal from the Illinois Restaurant Association that would have ultimately, increased the tipped wage, but also would have allowed for 3 times enforcement against restaurants that don't make up a tipped wage to what is the minimum wage. So for people who aren't familiar, and maybe even how this is characterized, calling it a sub-minimum wage, it's only a sub-minimum wage until when that person goes to clock out. And then when they clock out, if they find out that their tips they received that evening, either credit card tips or cash tips they claim, if those don't add up to the minimum wage, the restaurant has to make up that difference. So say you go in for a 5-hour shift. And it's a slow day. For whatever reason, there's just not a lot of people. You only get one table and they tip you $5 or whatever, and you're sitting around for the 5 hours. Well, you must be paid at least the minimum wage for the difference in what you don't make in tips. So that's how the tipped wage works, and that's why you have the sub-minimum wage for tipped employees. But the whole idea of tipped wage, it's based off of getting those tips. And the idea is indeed merit-based. So when you have the idea of removing that merit-based incentive for a server to do a not just good job, but to go above and beyond, that incentive, is it removed if they're not getting tips? If they're all getting paid the same, what's to distinguish a rock star server or a rock star bartender versus somebody who's just there to go along to get along and to clock in and out, and they're taking their 15-minute break. They don't care that your food's sitting in the window. They're on their break. So is it going to take away that incentive, and what does this ultimately mean for the consumer? I'll tell you, the wife and I, when we were up in the Indiana sand dunes, we went to this wonderful restaurant. It was in an old historic house in some place close to Portage, Indiana. And it was a wonderful experience. We sat out on the porch, and it was just a nice, cool evening, and great service from beginning to end. We walk up, go into the old house, and there's a young hostess there. Instantly greets us. Wonderful environment. She's like, you want to sit inside or outside? Let's sit outside. Okay, great. Here's some menus, and your server will be right with you. Somebody else came out with water almost instantly, put it on the table, said your server will be right with you. Server comes out, gives us the specials, answers all of our questions, talks about what's on the menu, takes our appetizer order and our drink order, and then about 2 minutes later, the hostess comes back and says, how we doing? Everything okay? And that hostess came back 2 or 3 times. And then you had the server, just impeccable service, and we tipped. I tipped like 22% on the bill. So obviously I was very appreciative of the entire operation. Because listen, when you tip, it's not just going to the server. A lot of restaurants, that tip is split with the bartender, with the bus service, with those who come and clean the table, and even with the host. So the tips really do go a long way, and it's, in my opinion, it encourages that type of extra level service. But what are your thoughts? 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Again, the new substitute ordinance in Chicago, according to the Tribune, it would essentially mandate Chicago businesses offer tipped workers the same minimum wage as all other employees in the city within the next 5 years. And it's a measure that could do away with tips altogether. But let's hear from you at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number, getting these phone calls lined up. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Yourself?
So my two daughters had started serving in the last 2 years. And if you're doing it just to get by, to only make the minimum, you're not going to last very long.
Nope.
Because it's profitable.
It
is. My daughters did it as far, and it's $35-$40 an hour if you're hustling.
If you're hustling, and that's the thing, it's you got to have the initiative, and you have a good night, and you can walk out of there with a couple of $100 cash in hand, and that's obviously going to help anybody who works weekends, or if you have a busy lunch day, you could make some bank. I mean, it really is a profitable venture, no question.
I don't think the ones that would settle for 15 or whatever it is now, 12 an hour, I don't think they'd last very long, though. Because that's too hard to work for $12 an hour. It's not worth it.
Yeah, so you're saying essentially it would take away the incentive.
No, it would take the slackers would try to do it just to make the $12 an hour, but it's too hard to work. You get yelled at, you get treated like crap. I think at the beginning you might have people that would do it just for that. But it would come back around, and you would have the rock stars would still be making money, would still be going above and beyond.
Gotcha. All right. Appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. Talking about tipped wages, and Chicago looking to possibly end tipped wages. What will that do to menu prices? Will it double the cost of that burger and fries? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey, tip. TIPE. It stands for to inspire promptness.
Huh,
you know,
if
you're gonna tip, you tip well, but you're not obligated to tip. I mean, if you get crappy service, I'm not putting a $20 bill against dinner if the waiter or waitress, didn't really care about the service that he or she was providing.
Right.
But if you got a kick-ass waiter or kick-ass waitress and they're on the ball, 25-30% is not out of the ordinary.
No question.
You spend $100 on dinner, give them a $35 tip, and especially if they deserve it, you got to do it.
Yep. No, and listen, as somebody who worked in the restaurant industry as a server, as a bartender, I was all over the place. I didn't mind taking 8 tables and bam, 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 hitting them all up, right, and just getting business done, taking care of those customers. And I have that perspective going into restaurants, and I love when I experience good service and the interaction with the servers even. For instance, one of the restaurants we went to up in Indiana was on State Park Beach of Lake Michigan, and we had lunch. It was wonderful. I ordered a beach Cobb salad, and the server said, "Would you like to add a skewer of steak onto that?" I looked at her, I said, "Way to upsell. Yes, I will take that steak skewer with my beach Cobb salad." So obviously I tipped well, even though she upsold me, increasing the total cost of the bill, which would increase how much I would tip. Good morning. You're on WMAY. Your thoughts?
I think it's a dumb idea because it's going to discourage good service, as you point out. I think this is another example of the liberals proposing something, looking for a problem. And I just think it's a bad idea.
And you've got a lot of people pushing for this, saying, hey, they need to, get to the minimum wage. But again, they already should be getting the minimum wage. If they're not making the tips to make up the minimum wage by the end of their shift, the restaurant's supposed to make that difference up. And if they're not, they should be investigated by the Department of Labor.
Oh, please. Restaurants are not meant to be lifetime work. It's where you start there, you get an education, you improve yourself so that you can move up. Whatever happened to that?
Well, and listen, that does happen a lot, but there are some who, later on in life, they want to make some extra money, and they'll welcome working weekends to make that cash money as supplemental income, and even that is a profitable enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
I think you're basically going to end up with people with attitudes that are no different than going to a fast food restaurant. You're going to have people that put out exceptional service who are going to end up walking away from the job if it ends.
And that could diminish the overall workforce for dining service. Your phone breaking up a little bit. Appreciate it, though. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yes, I agree with your one caller. What has happened in this country? I agree. Servers, that was a career. But as far as I worked at the Georgian. Do you remember the Georgian?
I don't remember the Georgian, no.
Pardon me?
I don't, no.
Okay, that was at South Grand and 9th Street. And I did dishes there for years and years and years. I did it when I was in high school. When I would get out of school and I'd go straight to work because I had a car at 16 and I needed gas. So how did I afford my gas? I had to go to work.
That's right.
I had to go to work. So I did dishes at the Georgian for years and years and years.
Nice.
And that was just a stepping stone. And that's the way it was in America. There was other jobs out there. We could go to work at factories and things like this. We had other places that we could actually go and become somebody and raise a family. That's all gone away. And now grown men and people were looking to restaurants and things like this as careers. And it's terrible. We need to bring factories and manufacturing back into this country. And until we do, there's no answer to it.
Appreciate the call. I will say, there's different caliber of restaurants, right? There's, places in Springfield that are chains that you can pretty much find anywhere around the country. But then there's places that are unique, locally owned, and that is a wonderful place to have a career, quite frankly. If you're going to an up-end restaurant, where the service is impeccable, they come out and they explain to you what the fish special is and what kind of fish it is. They explain to you the steps it goes into making this particular cocktail or the types of sauces that are on their appetizer, or they take that time and it's a really wonderful atmosphere, and they wait on you and your every need you have. Those servers, those upscale restaurant servers make good money, and it very easily could become a career if it's done right, and they can make that money and even move up into management and so on. Who knows, maybe make their own restaurant happen. Let's take a few more calls here, lining up, talking about tipped wage. Chicago looking to get rid of it. Good morning, you're on WMAY.
Hey, Greg, where did this come from? Did some politician get PO'd or something about that? Where did this come from?
There's an advocacy group. I forget what their title is, but they're kind of like a loose union of sorts. Restaurant Workers Association or something like that.
My second point being is, first of all, this is ridiculous. My second point being, I've called before about this. I wait at tables, and you are taxed based on what you sell.
Yep.
At least at the restaurant I work at, we did. We had to claim at least 10%. This was back in the 90s of what we sold. So the computer kept track of everything you sold, and you at the end of the night had to claim at least 10% for tax reasons. Okay, so you're taxed based on what you sell, and people don't understand that.
Yep.
So therefore, if you don't get your tips in return, well, you got to earn them first, obviously, but you get taxed on stuff on money you didn't even make if you didn't make it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and again, the restaurant has to make the difference up. If you don't make the equivalent of minimum wage with the hours worked versus what tips you do get, the restaurant has to make that difference up. And you're right, you do get taxed on your tips. Cash tips, claim 10%. For credit card tips, those are automatically claimed and calculated. One last call here before the break. Good morning, you're on WMAY. Your thoughts?
Good morning, my friend. I think the caller before had it right on the money that, it's what they did back in the day. And like you were saying, too, the high-class restaurants, there's tons of different types. Like some
pizza joint, whenever they bring your pizza out for you to sit down, that's totally different than like a, mom and pop brick and mortar diner than compared to some 5-star, Michelin grade sit down place. And you're going to pay for that service. You're going to pay for that, waiter and that type of experience, to be honest. And I think that's really truly what it is. Like if you go to Osaka here, that's a totally different type of experience for your food.
Right.
But of course, whenever you get down to brass tacks about it, Chicago's done everything right. So what we really need to do is just mimic everything about Chicago, and everything's going to just fall into place, right? No, that's not going to happen. I mean, Chicago is definitely on the forefront of, hold my beer, and everything's going to get worse.
All right, I appreciate the call. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. Tipped wage, possibly going by the wayside in Chicago as they look to essentially abolish that over several years. It's a measure that's got to go through the city council, but we'll see where that ultimately lands. All right, appreciate the calls. Got to take a break. Late for it. 827 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3-2-win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Feeling boxed in by cable? Now's the time to break free from that overpriced TV bill and switch to Philo. With Philo, you'll get shows, movies, and more than 70 live channels, all for just $25 a month. You'll get the same networks you love like AMC, Discovery, Hallmark Channel, MTV, and more, all for a fraction of the cost of cable. And Philo's unlimited DVR lets you save all your favorite movies and shows for a year, so you can catch up on your own schedule. That's endless entertainment at your fingertips. Best of all, when you make the switch to Philo, you could be saving hundreds of dollars a year on your cable bill. Who doesn't want more money in their pocket? And with Philo's free trial, there's no risk to check it out for yourself. So think outside the box and stay inside your budget. Signing up for Philo takes seconds and will never make you listen to hours of cable company hold music. Before you know it, you'll be on the couch channeling comfort with all your favorite shows. Visit philo.tv/cutthecord to get started today. That's philo.tv/cutthecord.
It's obvious. The unthinkable is going to happen soon. With all the distractions in the media, we probably won't see it coming. Your gut tells you there's something very wrong going on, and all the evidence suggests that there is. Those in charge say everything's fine, stop noticing. But you know better. American families are preparing. Folks are getting into self-reliance and investing in emergency food storage. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, is the place you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save 25%, plus get free shipping on all their 3-month emergency food kits. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. Order by 3 p.m. and your items ship the same day. It's time to prepare for what's coming. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Some of the other comments coming in on the issue of tipped wages possibly going by the wayside in Chicago. Former patron of mine, when I was a server 15, 16, 17 years ago or whatever, he texts and says, if I recall correctly, it was really the long, flowing locks that landed all your tips when you tended bar. Maybe it was. I don't know. I had long hair. It was down to my mid back, and I'd wear it in a ponytail. It was it was quite long. So, thanks for sharing that memory. Others on YouTube say no tip wages. Get ready for menu prices to double again. $17.98 for a cheeseburger. Somebody else goes on to say, does this apply to strip clubs? Also, Randall says you're forgetting delivery drivers. Yeah, sure. I think delivery drivers, but they get minimum wage at least, right? But you also do provide tips there. So, again, fascinating, some of the conversations coming in, and you can always take part in all of that simply by emailing me, bishoponair@gmail.com, or find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and you can comment that way and have your voice heard. All right, coming back, the Illinois Supreme Court is opening up the second week of their fall session, and several cases on the docket. Kind of fascinating. We'll take a look at some of the issues to be considered, so stay tuned. It's here next on WMAY at 8:34, and now let's check headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story: Wednesdays are bike tour days for everyone interested in learning more about Springfield's past. The 5-mile history tour starts at 10 a.m. at the Dana Thomas House and includes the Black Firehouse, Lincoln Home, Old State Capitol, Lincoln Tomb, and other sites. The 8-mile tour begins at the Lincoln Tomb at 1 o'clock. Helmets are required. Information about other hike and bike history tours can be found at WMAY.com. The Pretrial Fairness Act took effect Monday, making Illinois the first state in the nation to eliminate cash bail. Before ordering pretrial detention, judges will need to find that either the defendant poses a flight risk or is credibly accused of committing a so-called forcible felony. Detainable offenses include murder, assault, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, animal torture, and DUI causing great bodily harm. It's been 2 years since passage of the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, with the goal of putting Illinois on a path of 100% carbon-free energy by 2050. The Illinois Clean Jobs Coalition has launched the Illinois Solar Map, which allows anyone to explore solar projects by geography or by project category. A link to the map, along with more information about clean energy in Illinois, can be found at WMAY.com. Autumn means deer are at their most active, and the fall season is the most likely for collisions between cars and the large animals. State Farm Insurance warns motorists that more than 55,000 Illinois drivers collide with animals every year, ranking the state number 11 in the nation. The most common scenario for striking an animal on the highway is while on a paved rural road without much traffic and the sky not quite dark. Do you or someone you love have a health condition that would benefit from assistive technology like adaptive kitchen appliances, mobility aids, or communication equipment? Senior Services of Central Illinois is hosting an event on Wednesday at noon where attendees can learn more about assistive technology options. A link to the event can be found at WMAY.com. Sangamon County Coroner Jim Allman confirms the death of Richard Cryer, 76, of Indianola, Iowa. Mr. Cryer was pronounced dead Wednesday. Mr. Cryer was hospitalized on September 8th after he crashed a boat he was operating during a boat race on Lake Jacksonville. Mr. Cryer died from multiple blunt force injuries sustained in that crash. The death remains under investigation by the Sangamon County Coroner. The Lincoln Library is ready to help local school children make decorations for the upcoming fall season. On Wednesday afternoon from 3:30 until 4:30, library staff will guide children in using pipe cleaners and beads to create crafty, colorful ears of corn. The event is free, and the Lincoln Library is located downtown at 326 South 7th Street in Springfield. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the yawn exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
It's obvious. The unthinkable is going to happen soon. With all the distractions in the media, we probably won't see it coming. Your gut tells you there's something very wrong going on, and all the evidence suggests that there is. Those in charge say everything's fine. Stop noticing. But you know better. American families are preparing. Folks are getting into self-reliance and investing in emergency food storage. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, is the place you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save 25%, plus get free shipping on all their 3-month emergency food kits. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. Order by 3 p.m. and your items ship the same day. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out. Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Everywhere with the WMAY app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 83. Low tonight about 61. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high near 82. Low around 61. Thursday mostly sunny with a high near 81. Low around 60 degrees. Friday, there's a chance of showers with a high near 80, and Saturday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 82 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
Fighting Illini football versus Florida Atlantic University on Saturday, September 23rd. Bring the whole family and enjoy the family fun in Grange Grove with bounce houses, equipment try-on, live music, tailgating, and more. Get tickets as low as $15 for Fighting Illini football versus Florida Atlantic. Saturday, September 23rd at fightingillini.com.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Conn's a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Want to know what's making AI chatbots great? You are, in your Gmail, Instagram, and Facebook accounts, unless you opt out. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite. Do more with less. Get NetSuite's KPI checklist absolutely free at netsuite.com/Kim. Google sifts through all your emails to train its AI. And Meta, they used 1 billion Instagram posts from public accounts to train their AI without you knowing. Big tech is absorbing our chats, snapshots, and docs to make AI that can write, create photos, and even mimic human behavior. Here's how to get out of the AI stronghold. Meta has a brand spanking new opt-out form. It's nestled in Meta's Help Center under Generative AI Data Subject Rights. But mind you, it's more of a request than a firm opt-out. And Gmail users, you aren't left behind. Just navigate to your settings, hit the General tab, and uncheck the box under Smart Features and Personalization. Big tech is always so sneaky, aren't they? Get tech smart with my free newsletter. Sign up now at getkim.com. Fall is here, and with the kids back at school, your spare time is likely filled with soccer practices and other activities. All the while, your home is sitting empty and vulnerable. Trust me, thieves know this, and they're on the lookout. That's why I recommend SimpliSafe's Home Security's revolutionary new monitoring program. It's called 24/7 Live Guard Protection, and it's made possible by SimpliSafe's new Smart Alarm wireless indoor camera and a Fast Protect monitoring plan. Now, if an intruder breaks into your home, SimpliSafe monitoring agents can actually see, speak to, and deter them right through the Smart Alarm wireless indoor camera. Install everything yourself in about 30 minutes, or have a SimpliSafe expert set it up for you. Either way, it's easy to protect your home. For a limited time, get 20% off your new system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Visit simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com. simplysafekim.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The Illinois Supreme Court set to hear 4 cases today, ranging from the Firearm Owner Identification Card and the Freedom of Information Act to whether a bicyclist who hit a pothole in Chicago can sue the city of Chicago because of their injuries. Let's take a look at some of these cases. Welcome back, Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. If you go and check out the Illinois Supreme Court's website, you can see where you can actually view the live stream for today's cases that are going to start at 9 o'clock this morning. So first on the docket is case number 128957, People, State of Illinois, appellee, versus Dante Antoine Webb, appellant. So this comes from the 4th District of Circuit Courts in Illinois. The appeals court taking this case up. Let's go ahead and look at the arguments where the issues presented for review in the brief And this is just, a general overview of what's going to be argued today in the Illinois Supreme Court in this particular case. It says, when law enforcement searched Dante Webb's vehicle in 2018 based solely on an alert by a dog trained to detect cannabis was partially legalized. So we had medicinal cannabis back in 2018. It wasn't until January 1st of 2020 when recreational cannabis was legalized. And the question that the court's going to be presented with, did Webb's trial attorney provide ineffective assistance of counsel when he failed to move to suppress the fruits of the search on the basis of that alert with no additional evidence of illegal drug possession, failed to give officers probable cause? So that's the question at hand in that particular case. So we'll see how that plays out. Another really fascinating case is the second case that they're going to hear in the Illinois Supreme Court, and that is case number 128275. And that's Sandra Hart et al. As the appellees versus the Illinois State Police. If you look at the nature of the action here in the briefs filed, Sandra Hart and Kenneth Burgess each submitted a request to Illinois State Police under the Illinois Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, seeking production of their applications for firearm owners' identification cards and their denial or revocation letters from ISP. ISP denied the request, citing state law, which prohibits releasing the names and information of individuals who've applied for FOID cards. For Burgess's request, ISP also argued that it was bound by a permanent injunction entered by a circuit court in another case prohibiting the release of FOID card information. Hart and Burgess each filed FOIA actions in the circuit courts, and their subsequent motions for summary judgment were granted on the ground, in the circuit court's view, that state law contains an unwritten exemption to its blanket prohibition on disclosure. ISP appealed both judgments. The appellate court consolidated the appeals and affirmed the circuit court's order holding a section of law when it comes to FOIA does not apply if a person seeks his or her own information. So I think that's important. It does not apply when a person seeks his or her information. So yes, that is something that you're going to see argued in the Illinois Supreme Court today. It's the second case they'll take up. So we'll watch how that plays out. Reviewing some of the Supreme Court cases that are going to be heard today, and that's going to be 4 cases altogether. Another case in front of the Illinois Supreme Court is case number 128575. 128575. That is Alec Pinkerton versus the city of Chicago. This one deals with traffic tickets, and it's more about administrative law, and in particular, you've got someone contesting a city of Chicago traffic ticket, and that'll kind of be a little boring. But another case that's going to be heard today is Clark Alvey versus the city of Chicago, and this deals with a fascinating turn of events for a bicyclist. So the nature of the case, according to the briefs, plaintiff Clark Alvey alleges that he rode his bicycle into a pothole on a street in the city of Chicago, which caused him to fall and sustain injuries. Under Illinois law, the municipality owes a duty to maintain its property only to those whom the municipality intends and permits the use of the property in question. At the location while Alvey's accident occurred, no signs or pavement markings indicated that the city intended bicycling. The circuit court determined the city did not intend bicycling there and dismissed the case. So again, this is fascinating, right? The appellate court reversed, citing the presence of a divvy bicycle sharing station in the vicinity of the accident sites as evidence implying that the city intended bicycling was supposed to be there where Alvey fell. The courts allowed the city's petition to leave appeal. All questions are raised on the pleadings. Whether the city had a duty to maintain its property in a condition that was reasonably safe for bicycling at a location where neither signs nor pavement markings indicated the city intended bicycling. So clearly this is going to be a fascinating one to watch. So again, just some of the cases going to be heard in front of the Illinois Supreme Court today. We may try to revisit that a bit later this week when we dip into those, and especially the FOID card and the FOIA, because from my understanding, it's always been you can request your FBI file. Seriously, you can request your FBI file. If you want to see what the FBI has on you, you can do a FOIA request. From my understanding, I haven't done it, but from my understanding, you can request, because it's your information that they have on you, you can request that. So give it a shot sometime, I guess. See what kind of information they've got on you. All right. Again, Illinois Supreme Court, 4 cases today. Some of them are actually really fascinating. All right. Stay tuned. We'll wrap things up next. Maybe squeeze in a phone call or two. It's right now 8:50. Don't forget, you've got the honor flight. They are in Washington, D.C., taking veterans to see war memorials in their honor, and they come back tonight at Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport, 9:30. If you need more details, landoflincolnhonorflight.org, landoflincolnhonorflight.org. So be sure to check that out. And 9:30, you can welcome those veterans back home at Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport. All right, let's take a look at that forecast. Today, you've got a high of 82 with mostly sunny skies, low of around 60, partly cloudy. And then some sunshine Wednesday, 82 the high. For Thursday, we're looking at a high of 80. And then Friday, chance of showers and storms, the high of 80. The high of 82 Saturday with a chance of showers and storms. Right now, it's about 60 degrees. Right now, 8:52 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
At Midwest Family, we're looking for talented and dynamic account executives who thrive in a fast-paced working environment. Those who are passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive. Are you a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have a grasp on today's digital media? And do you have the ability to cultivate lasting relationships and partnerships? If this sounds like this is for you, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on our Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE, 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second-side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Springfield supported
Lavina Roach. I was married for almost 65 years, and I have 4 kids, 5 grandkids, and 5 great-grandkids. I've been here for 5 months. It's so clean. Everybody's wonderful. It makes you feel more like home. And I don't think there's any place in town that's as nice as this one.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
What a show. Just looking at my planner and all that we've talked about, all the voices we've heard from, all the issues we've tackled, the phone calls, the interviews. Not gonna lie, it's not even 9 o'clock and I'm exhausted. Because we start this program at 6 o'clock, and some of you have been with us the whole time. I really do appreciate that. People watching on YouTube, on Facebook, listening live on WMAY. It really is very appreciated as to everybody who tunes in and takes part. But we talked about no cash bail from a couple of different angles. So if you missed any of those conversations, be sure to check out the YouTube page where you can catch up. We also talked about the firearms registry, the rules that Illinois State Police filed yesterday. I imagine we're going to have a lot more to say about that in the days and weeks ahead, especially with the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules set to meet October 17th. So we'll be watching how that plays out as well. There's just tons going on, including with the ongoing issues of the Illinois Supreme Court, setting to hear some cases today on some fascinating stuff. We talked about that last segment. Tipped wages, you guys sounded off on that as well. Greatly appreciate it. And you guys make it worth my while coming down here and taking part in the program. But it's about time for me to head out of here and go to my full-time gig. For those who aren't familiar, this is my part-time gig. Full-time, I'm with Illinois Radio Network and the Center Square, producing news reports for what's going on in Illinois. And if you ever have a hankering to find that out, go to thecentersquare.com, where you can see reports that me and my team put together on things happening in and around the state of Illinois. A lot of focus on what's going on at the State House. And, of course, you've got the fall veto session, which is rapidly approaching, faster than we realize. But appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back at it tomorrow. We got the council roundup. We've got full disclosure with the Better Government Association. We've got tons to get to. It's all right here on WMAY now, 9 o'clock.